And I have to say, having taught astronomy at Colgate for now, 47 years, I can say that the Ho-Tung Visualization Lab is a boon to teaching laboratory science, because everything that we had to do on globes and celestial globes and star maps and even computer-generated maps is so much easier to understand in this framework of the real sky. And I think one of the reasons why I can succeed in teaching in a place like this is it's the sky. I mean, first and foremost, that's what it is.
The fact that we can program this facility allows us to create materials for classes, and we have been creating materials with help of Joe Aiken. And so we have materials that have been created for Tony's class, Astronomy and Culture, some of the astronomy classes. I had a couple of physics classes, and I created some exercises and things where students would look up and take data and then use it in an interactive way.
There is absolutely no better way to teach somebody how things move in the sky than by taking them and sticking them in a planetarium for an hour and allowing them to observe the motions of the planets and the stars for themselves, and the positions of the setting sun, positions of the moon, than that, because they can make observations that would take them years to do outside of a system like that.
I was very excited when I first went to the Visualization Lab and saw projects that Joe Aiken was working on with my colleague Tony Avini, his Stonehenge project in particular, and I immediately thought that there were great opportunities as well for the humanities in general and for classics in particular. I thought that that wonderful space could actually recreate the ancient world just as it could recreate the pyramids or Stonehenge. And I thought that the project of recreating the day of Julius Caesar's death was ideal because it could utilize the facilities for recreating Rome on the big hemisphere.
The most celebrated Roman of all time was brutally murdered by a bunch of cowardly assassins, perhaps as many as 80, acting from a mixture of motives.
And we put this on, may I say, to packed audiences, and had great fun doing it. I think it showed off both the tremendous potential which the Visualization Lab does represent for my discipline, classics, to bring alive the ancient world, and also to show in general what it can do to assist teaching in the humanities.
I was finishing a manuscript called People in the Sky for London, Thames and Hudson's book about how people from different cultures all over the world use the sky. There's a chapter on the navigator's sky, the farmer's sky, the hunter's sky, even the astrologer's sky. And I walked into this magnificent facility and thought, wow, I could teach a course on this in here. And so I spent the best part of the first year going through material and produced this course called Astronomy and Culture, which really becomes a reflection of our own society. By having students look at astronomy in other cultures, they can better understand the place of science and nature, the study of nature, in their own. So I do a series of lectures in here, but don't get the wrong idea. This is not simply a theater in which we show things, but it also is what I like to call an interactive teaching and research laboratory. Interactive teaching because we do 10 lab exercises in here. For example, when we talk about Stonehenge, we bring up Stonehenge and we show the 3 epochs of the creation of Stonehenge, which lasted over 2,000 years. And then I set the students to watching where the sun and the moon go, which stones they set and rise over, how precisely these observations are timed. And so they actually do an interactive research, an interactive teaching laboratory, the way you do a lab in science. We do 10 of those during the course of the semester. And so it's kind of fun to see them with their little red lights on in here, because you can't see in the dark and we can't have bright lights. And so they're sitting here trying to answer the questions while we're doing the half demo and half lab. And my course has now had its third go-round. They'll be teaching it again in the fall. It's overbooked. Vastly overbooked, because I think people like coming in here and doing this stuff. And we continue to improve the course, and I have to say that I never even had the vaguest notion that the course would turn out to be quite this successful. I mean, not just in terms of attracting students here, but in terms of it proving to be a viable place to really learn. And believe me, I think what we've done in 2 years here vastly surpasses all the now antiquated modes of teaching. You know, when I came here, we used a lantern slide projector and projected glass slides to show phenomena taking place in the sky. Well, that was the state of the art then. This is the state of the art now, and it's going to continue to be so.